Welcome back to another edition of Total War Tuesdays. Uh, we've got to get a lot done today, and I need to apologize for missing last week's episode. I ended up getting called into work, which is not something that normally happens on a Tuesday. Kind of threw off my schedule a little bit. And also, when I did finally get home, I tried to record this 3 or 4 times, and I had some weird issues with my recording software. So hopefully we don't have any issues today. I seem to have gotten it resolved and managed to record a few videos late that evening and a few more since then with no issues. So hopefully today's episode goes wonderful. We have a lot of stuff going on, and it might be a little bit longer episode, or I might break it up into 2 parts today to try to make up for last week's missed episode. The one thing that we were working towards is claiming the 3rd settlement in the region that we're currently conquering, and that leaves just the settlement of Karak Norn, or Zorn, left to take over. We already have 1 army down here, although this army is ill-suited for combating the enemy at hand. I do not know that we're going to be able to very effectively win like we did last time. The dwarves have decent numbers at this point. They have a moderately good-sized garrison. Their army is about 20-some units strong, equal to ours in size, but the quality of their units is much higher than ours, and they're all well armored. We really need to consider getting some armor-piercing units before we try taking them on in any seriousness. That being said, our 2nd army is quite far away at the moment. All the way up in the north, sort of threatening the orcs, although really all we're doing is not so much threatening, but raiding for the extra food to try to keep our food solvent at the moment. And we do have 1 settlement in this region. I don't plan on taking more at this time. This is more just an outpost. We don't want to invest a lot into the infrastructure here in case it falls. But it does give us a heads up if we are on the defensive. To the east, we do have an ally kind of protecting our eastern border, so I'm not super duper concerned about that just yet, but that will be something we're going to have to pay attention to down the road and see what happens with it. I believe this is the end of turn 16, so there's not a ton left to do. This character had a little bit of movement left, and so I could move closer to the orcs, but I would rather move probably further away and continue to raid.
This way.
But that way they'll have to come out a little further to get me if they decide they want to deal with me. Also, we did get one of our buildings completed, and we got a bunch of units recruited. I wanted to look at our public order. So public order is really bad right now, but it is stabilized, so we're not continuing to move towards a revolt. I do have the ability to construct something here, and my thought is that it might be worth trying to construct this building next turn, and that will move our public order positive and hopefully start to resolve some of this. The other option we have is we could use our settlement bonus here, province effect, to improve order. Public order +2, untaint +1. We could do that. Right now we have the reduction to construction costs and the growth, which I think is the most important one to start with. So we're going to keep it this way for now. And then we have this that we can start working on. believe that's it for this turn. Not a whole lot left to do, since I think we already played this turn out for the most part last time. So we'll go ahead and end the turn and get right into it. Okay, the dwarves are moving around a little bit. We have surplus, population surpluses in a couple of our territories. One of the factions that I was hoping on getting some help from has been destroyed. That's unfortunate. That will also affect our trade, I believe, because we had just set up trade with these guys. I thought their territory was over here. Yeah, that must have been it. So the Tomb Kings conquered the vampires that were here, and that will affect us a little bit, but not a ton. We should talk to these guys and see if we can't maybe get a non-aggression pact with them at the very least. Let's go ahead and do some diplomacy. I believe that was this guy.
Rises from the sands. Very well. I will hear your inane squeaking, rodent.
They don't really care for any of this. And we can...
No!
Yep, no it is. Alright.
Priest King of Great, welcome to my realm. I have had eternity to gather my resources. What do you need? My will.
Alright. Try to make some allies with these guys. Unfortunately, this guy is not really in contact with our empire, so I don't believe we have access to trade with them. Yeah, it says we can. We're unlikely to get it.
Stop this.
Okay, that's fine. We didn't talk to this guy yet.
Bow, do not invoke the gods around Cetra. They bow to me.
A trade agreement. He likes military access.
Very well.
He's not up for a trade agreement yet, but that may change over time. Now that we have positive-ish relations with these guys, our status should be improving over time. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else that we really care for. So, that's probably enough for this. Alright, so now the question is, what are we doing with our armies? Do I want to pull back this army, or do I want to just create a third one? And that is a difficult question. I don't think I want to pull this army back. I think I want to keep at least a half stack up here around Qatar. Just in case the orcs decide to come down and attack us. So we want to stay on the... This is a really weak army, but it is a 10 stack. It's something. We can come over here, and I can go ahead and get this constructed now. Public order has fallen by a point, so this is definitely where we want to go. And to the south, I don't know that there's a good way baiting his army out of the settlement, other than to just stand back here and continue to raid. My concern is if we move too close, we get attacked by both armies, in which case we probably lose. And if we get really too close, we get attacked by both armies in the garrison, in which case we definitely lose. The other option is we could go into an ambush stance and try to ambush them. But I'm not sure that that's ideal. Right now, we're making a fair amount of gold and food off of the raiding. So I think I'm just going to sit over here on the corner and continue to raid for a couple more turns and see what they do. And then at the same time, we may be recruiting a new hero if we can. Let's see who we have. We got Scrot. He was a pretty reasonable hero before. He would probably make a good one again. The question is, can we really afford 3 armies yet? And the answer is sort of. I am pulling in over 1,000, almost 2,000 gold a turn. That's going to significantly go down as we start recruiting. It's going to take a while to recruit as well. But I think we're going to have at least 2 stacks, and they're going to have to be customized in order to have any hope of taking this Dwarven area. So, we'll start with that. And let's see, Scrot, we need you to start recruiting. Now, what can we recruit? Not a lot. Not a lot of very good units. At least in this first couple territories. Yeah, none of our units are really well suited for dealing with dwarves. What can we do to improve that?
Omen.
Gutter runners, assassins, missile infantry, so not that. Clan rats with swords and spears. We can get up to storm vermin. Storm vermin are pretty expensive, but the other option is we could have moved Scrot here. It would have been a little bit faster to get to Storm Vermin. Maybe we run him up there. It's going to take several turns before we're going to get access to Storm Vermin anyways. Yeah, I probably should have just recruited him up there. Or waited until we had access to Storm Vermin before we started. So this is actually costing us almost 400 gold just to have him. That was definitely a misplay. What you gonna do? Rats make mistakes. Yep.
Mighty warrior champion.
We're just gonna... What is this? Yeah, sure. Work on that. Alright, we're going to try to breeze through these next few turns, because there's just not going to be much going on until I can either get them to come out and face me, or get another army so we can go in there and deal with them. We could definitely win a battle of attrition. We could throw just waves of slaves and clan rats at them and replenish them faster than they can probably replenish their losses. So we'll see. I would prefer, if I could get 2 stacks, maybe to even siege them out. Trying to fight into their walls is going to be a pain in the ass. Unless we can get a nice group of catapults or something that we can just knock it all down, which is a possibility. Whether through threats, promises of shared glory, or enrichment, Scrot is now loyal to your cause. Their loyalty is no longer at a low level. I don't know that it ever really was. It is at 5. Faction encountered. A number of small warbands have coalesced into a rogue army, the Abominations. Watch them closely. Such desperate outlaws are always on the lookout for lightly defended territories. Yeah, show me where these guys are. Rat ogres. Huh.
What? Horned one, come on.
Well, that's not my territory, so I don't know where they came from.
Littermaster.
Scott's leveled up.
Too weak to betray.
Inspiring presence, tail weapon. This isn't Scrot. What's his name?
Trust him
Vomic.
for now.
Vomic. Okay, well. Higher ambush success. Income from looting settlements. We are doing some looting. Sure, let's grab some extra income from looting. It's not going to be very much, but yeah. Just sit over here. We're going to skip that, and we have some places we could build some stuff, but we are going to hold on to our money for now. I don't want to be spending a lot of money on Qatar at the moment. Yep. Alright. There we go. Another turn down. I don't really know if this helps speed up things or not, but try to remember to click it when I can. I'm just worried that the amount of time that it's going to take us to get a seriously good stack of military units might be bigger than we can wait. We might have to start branching out to the north and then come back and clean up the dwarves in the south as we get more territory and more resources. The Bray herds come. Alright, we might have to deal with some goat men. Mission issued. Recruit a lord. Turns to complete 8. Well, I just did that.
Stink of command.
Let's change his to march. No sense in not marching. We still have several turns before we can upgrade anything
What's your back tail?
of significance. Public order is in a good spot again. This will give us the storm vermin, so let's go ahead and get that started. And just in time, it'll take a couple turns, 4 turns, so I don't know if it's... Is there a way I can disband him and then re-recruit him to finish this quest? Maybe that's what I should have done. Yes. Alright. Then if I go to Recruit Lord, Scrot's available for recruitment. Yeah, so we'll just wait a couple turns, and then we'll do that.
More head skulls.
Nothing much going on over here. The dwarves are just content to let us raid their territory. That doesn't seem very dwarfish of them, does it? I'm sure there's a grudge to be had for this. Insolence, as they would say. Well, 2 turns till we get that technology done. What is our rights are back up in how many turns? Can't perform any rights right now. Cooldown duration. Looks like we can't perform any of these at the moment, mostly because we don't have the money. This says 4 turns, so in 4 turns we'll be able to do that again. Alright, yeah, we're gonna skip you.
The doom is coming.
Crypt ghouls and rat ogres. This is a weird mix of enemies.
What? Horned one command.
I don't particularly think that we are capable of dealing with that, but we are unable to recruit. Okay, we're gonna have to move in order to recruit.
The doom is coming.
So let's move back to this stance. As long as we have at least 50%, I think we can go into encampment. So that's showing 51%.
Let's move.
And I can go into encampment.
Yes.
And we can recruit units. Now we don't have any money, but we will next turn. That is going to make our food go back to negative, which is unfortunate. We're going to need to recruit some spear units to handle those rat ogres. Probably just going to recruit like 3 Skaven slaves with spears, and we'll just throw them all at that rat ogre unit, and the rest of the units we probably can handle with our clan rats. Hopefully. Superior numbers, right? Another war is declared. This game certainly doesn't move quickly.
Emissaries from a foreign leader come requesting an alliance, my lord. Fully appraise the situation before accepting any treaty.
Okay. Let's see here. Factions with closely aligned goals may choose to form an alliance through diplomacy. Learn more about alliances here. Is this one where we have to go to war? Alliance proposals are sent and received. Da 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 da. Okay. So they commit to defending one another from foreign attack and may optionally go to war. Optional war thing. Yeah, I think it makes sense to defensively ally with those guys. I don't think we're going to invest too much in defending them. My ally has been attacked by... who? These are lizard men. So we can enter the war, or we can decline and break the alliance immediately. I see how this works now. It's been a little while. Okay, well, I'm not really keen on breaking the alliance we just signed, because this is a trade partner, and I would like to keep that for as long as possible. However, being at war with these guys is a little dangerous, because if they just come in and wipe the Silver Host out, then we are immediately at war with them and have to deal with that. But I think that's the way we're going to play it for now, and we're going to kind of hope that they can hold out a little bit. We might even have to send some troops over to help them survive. I think having our eastern border secured by another faction is an important step that we should definitely consider taking. Alright, these guys moved away. This is gonna give me time to recruit some spearmen. I could recruit clan rats with shields. Or I could just recruit some Skaven slaves. What's the difference in cost? Slaves are only 200 apiece, while clan rats are 600 or 700 with shields. I think we're just going to grab 3 of those to help deal with the rat ogres if they do end up coming our way. I don't need any more than that for now. Alright, we are 3 turns away from this.
Clan rats are not content.
I don't really need the map. Where was our quest at? Known factions, missions, and quests. Whip breeders, raise banners, recruit a lord in 7 turns. Reward, raise banners. We'll get 4 turns of minus 15% recruitment costs. So we definitely want to wait till we can start to recruit storm vermin, and then not only will we get storm vermin at a slightly reduced cost for 4 turns, but we will also get them at +1 rank. And we have time to complete that. So in 4 turns, we'll get the storm vermin building completed. That will leave 3 turns left on this, and then we'll have 4 turns of storm vermin recruitment at a reduced cost, which I think is going to be what we need. Until then, we really need to save our money. So you're just going to continue to do what you do. We're not building anything there. That ends another turn. See if the Silver Host start to have problems. We may have to consider moving this army over there. And if we do that, we might want to improve improve the garrison of Qatar just so that they slow down any problems that might arise from the west. But this is really a game of logistics at this point. We have a lot of things we have to be aware of and limited resources to deal with them all. I also need to consider getting catapults. That's going to require a few things. The abominations are moving away from us. Technology research, recruitment of slaves and clan rats, and more growth. Good for us. Any other world events I care about? Greenskins are probably getting close to confederating. Nothing else really of significance.
Keep Gracious scum away.
Queek's just going to continue to sit here and continue to raid your territory. I'm curious, what is... Yeah, public order is really bad. Skaven corruption is actually at -1 at the moment. That's odd. I'm not sure why. What they've put in place to reduce Skaven corruption so effectively. We do have a lot of things we could potentially build at this point. Yeah, they're using... Huh. Not sure. Alright, well... we can upgrade some things if we need to. Public order is still at +2 for us up here in this region, so I'm not too worried about it. What else do we want? We need to upgrade this so that I can get another slot over here. Because what I really want to build is not rat ogres. Well, that wouldn't be terrible, but yeah, here, plague claw catapults. So that's what we're looking to unlock. But we're gonna have to unlock a new slot. So if we can get this to 4. Then we can get plague catapults, and plague catapults, armor piercing missiles, and anti-infantry. That will be a really good siege weapon for us. That will help significantly. So that's where we're heading. We've got a nice pile of gold, so the question is, do we want to upgrade anything yet? The answer is yes, we do. At the very least, I think it's worth spending some money here. But it's going to cost a lot to get the storm vermin, and I think we're best saving this money up for a number of turns. One thing that we could do is we could move him back into this region. But it's going to take another turn, so we can't do that yet. We got to wait till these slaves are finished. Once the slaves are finished, we could consider moving him. I don't think it's worth upgrading this. Maybe eventually, when I'm sure we can secure it, but I don't know that we're going to be able to defend it. Let's take a look over here and see what we got going on our eastern border. So he's got an army that's empty and a full stack over here.
Priest king of greatest dynasty.
Oh, that is not who I thought it was. That is a problem. When did this happen? And why is it not showing up? Silver hosts are down to a single territory. Yeah, they're gonna get wiped out. We no longer have a trade agreement with them. Alright, well, it is time to talk to these guys then. Let's start with attitude. Which ones are they? Court. Yeah.
Liberus shall rise again. You come to speak to the voice of the vengeful.
Non-aggression pack. I like that.
Agree.
Alright. Sorry, Silver Hosts, you are gone. We're not going to be able to help you. These guys are at war with us, but as long as these guys don't die now, our borders are relatively safe. Alright, what can we build here? I can upgrade that. I don't really want to do that.
Time to do it, leaders.
So we're going to just continue. Skip that. Go ahead and grab this technology. Skip that. And that's the end of the turn. Yeah, if we build a big stockpile of cash on the turn that we get the Storm Vermin building upgraded, we'll be in good shape. This is taking way longer than I wanted it to. But if we can do it at a discounted price, we might be able to get a pretty good stack of Storm Vermin, which are going to fare much better against the dwarves than any of the other units we have. See if my plan comes to fruition. The other option we have is to swing this guy south and maybe do some pillaging and raiding on our way down. That does leave our home territory in a little bit of a pickle.
Yes, maybe stronger.
Chaos is stirring. Sword of Cain has been claimed by somebody. Alright, we got our spears now. Now we can move into other people's territory and do some raiding. How far south does Qatar go? Wow, that's a long ways. These guys are neutral to us. I don't think it makes sense to piss them off. So maybe the thing to do for the moment
Clan will rise.
is head back over here.
I say move.
And For some reason I can't raid now, because why? Because we're less than 50% movement. So I guess we'll just go into ambush stance? I don't know. That's kind of lame. Yeah, just sit here for another turn. Do we have the ability to... Where are we at? We're one turn away from this being upgraded. So next turn, we'll get the reward. I can't remember. Do we get the reward on the turn as we do it, or the turn after? I guess we recruit the Lord. No, I want to get the 4 turns of discount. So we're definitely not going to be upgrading any of these yet.
Soon now.
Alright, we've leveled up. Reduced cost of that, or looter. Looter's actually not bad because we're going to be doing a lot of raiding and looting with Queek, so it would be better if we would have maxed it out maybe, but... Alright, so this is the turn we recruit our hero, get our discount, and start working towards a sizable stack of Stormfirm. Alright, had to sneeze there for a moment. And what do we got here? Right is available to perform, but it costs a bunch of money. A quest has been issued to Queek. Occupy, loot, raise, or sack one different settlement for a bunch of money.
That is a hero serving a foreign power, my lord. Consider recruiting such an operative into your service. One being with the right skills can solve problems that no amount of coin or labor would otherwise be able to crack.
Alright, heroes are definitely something we're interested in. 2 turns until that's completed.
8 weeks is mine.
Let's see. Public order is bad here. Skaven corruption is at 51%. They're using a lot of their buildings and stuff to improve that, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how they're able to do that, but... Okay, so what we really want to do is recruit our lord. Up here.
The Clan needs new, better rulers.
Recruit a lord. Who do we have? Scrott's probably not on the list anymore, is he? Oh yeah, he is. Do we have anybody better? These are all Grey Seers, and I would much rather have 825 and 306. They will be available for recruitment in 1 turn. Okay. So he's out of the pool for a little while, but he comes back. We're going to go ahead and take Rat Surge. He's got the same trait, which I don't really care that much about. But that's going to give us the reward that we want. And... whoops. That is not what I wanted to do. Go back.
Horned One watches me.
Alright, Storm Vermin. Why can't I recruit Storm Vermin?
Master Commander.
Ah, here we go. Now we can recruit. Okay. Local recruitment, that's what we want. Storm Vermin. Cannot recruit. Additional building required. Warp Forge. What?
I'm not content.
I'm missing something here. Units require secondary building Warp Forge. Okay. That's... what is the Warp Forge? Construction Cavern, Pox Cauldron, Growth Vat, Weapon Burrow. Where's the Warp Forge? Obsidian Quarry. Ah, we gotta get to tier 2 of this building before we can build Storm Vermin? Well, maybe we goofed. Maybe Death Globadiers would have been the better choice. We can do this, although this requires a secondary building as well. So basically none of our early units are going to be able to... Ah, that's frustrating. Okay. Alright, well then what are we going to do? We are going to recruit a lot of stuff, and we're going to slow down our growth. We're going to go this trait starting next turn, I guess.
Who? You?
And we're just going to get a bunch of clan rats with shields and spears. Do we need a lot? Spears are not going to be that useful for us, I don't think. Shields are going to be better. Swords and shields are going to be better against dwarves. Dwarves don't have a lot of large units, especially a dwarven army that's as pathetic as the one we're going to be facing.
Guide us, Horned One.
So we grab 3 of those. I don't want to use that, but we're going to be able to start recruiting 4 next turn by switching over our province focus. Let's recruit as much as we can in the 4 turns that we get a discount. And try to get a big stack of rats. No tactics, just lots of rats. Because I'm losing my patience. I don't think we have to worry about... what do we have here? I'm going to perform this right again. This gives an extra 3 and a lot of reduction to recruitment costs. Yes. So then let me go back and undo these. Let's see if... yeah, that made them cheaper. Even cheaper. So then the question is, what are the difference in stats between these two? The attack is much lower. 25-23 versus 19-29. Yeah, they're a little bit better on defense, but their attack is pretty sad, so we definitely want to go with more of these. Look how cheap those rats are now.
All tales are mine.
Definitely worth doing. Okay. Well, it's unfortunate that they're not storm vermin, because that was the whole point of this little thing we were trying to do. The other problem is I can't upgrade this building yet, which is the one I want to upgrade because that gives me another slot. I don't need to upgrade the public order building at the moment, so there's no point in doing that. Down here we have lots of things we could potentially upgrade. I think this one is actually worth considering because we want to get all of our buildings to tier 3 as quickly as possible. We also have another option here. How much is this going to cost? 3,200. That's pretty expensive, and that's going to make it so that we cannot upgrade this one to tier 4 as quickly, so we're going to skip it, and we're going to focus on getting this building to tier 4 and maxing out this army so we can get it down to help out. I don't think that there's any sense in doing anything real tactical. Weapons of any special type are not going to really perform any better. We don't have access to any kind of siege equipment yet. One thing that we might consider doing is pulling his army back once we get access to siege equipment and making a dedicated siege commander. There is actually a commander trait that makes siege weapons have a lower cost and upkeep, I believe, which is really helpful. But I don't have one in the stack that I saw. One of the Grey Seers may actually have the trait, but they're willing to give us 1,500 gold for military access. Yeah, sure. Accepted gladly. We're back in a position to be able to upgrade this. Ambush foiled. One of our forces has been detected. Okay, well, that's fine. Scrot is ready for duty if he wants to be recruited, which we don't really care.
Most masterful of masters.
Go back to raiding. Right here. Get that to rank 4. Recruit. Now we can recruit 4 of these. And this is going to go very quickly. We're just going to fill this with 20 clan rats with shields. And we're just going to throw them at the dwarves and see how that goes. Down here, just continue to do what you do. We're keeping our food positive basically through all this raiding, and our money situation's in reasonable shape. That is going to deteriorate as we recruit a full stack, but I'm fine with it at the moment. Yeah, we're not doing anything here. Alright. Another turn down. Looks like they managed to take that settlement. That roaming army did. That might be a good one to actually go and fight. I'll have to consider that. We might take our Skaven slaves over there and See if we can't bait them into a battle. These guys are doing seriously well, whatever this faction of Tomb Kings are. Libaris? I don't know. They have like 4 or 5 territories locked up over here at the moment. I feel pretty decent about allying with them. I think they have a much better chance of holding off the lizardmen in the south. I'm gonna step away for just a second. My tea is completed. Alright, I'm back. And we got a lot going on again. What is all this? Raider. Bonus from raiding. Public order -2 in the local province on Queek. New trait. Well, that's cool. We've unlocked the Scheme of Doom. This is actually something that could be of great use to us. +3 leadership. Technology research. Set examples. Nothing like setting an example. Mission issued. Dwarf Doom. Be at war with the following factions. Turn to complete 8. Time to kill lots and lots of dwarf things. Dwarven conflict. Well, that is a no problem. I thought we were already at war with them. I can't imagine why we wouldn't be. That's an extra 500 to the treasury for basically nothing. Good to know. Now, I've tried using the warlock guy before. Let's look at that for a moment. So we have a new scheme. Scheme of Doom. Yes, yes, a scheme of great doom. Send an agent of Scryer to cause great calamity on the things. A unique warlock engineer hero capable of causing a catastrophic earthquake in a foreign settlement will be summoned at your faction's capital. This rite cannot be performed. This rite will become available after 3 turns. It only costs 800, which is really cheap. But what I think we're going to do is we're going to send this guy down with the army that we're recruiting right now. And we're going to use him to blow up the walls of the dwarf. And that will allow us to maybe get in a little easier. At the very least, it'll weaken the walls. That won't help us much because we don't have any catapults yet, but that also might be a thing before we get down there. This is, again, taking way longer than I really want it to.
All tales are mine!
More clan rats, please.
All tales are mine!
12. 4 turns until that's upgraded. And then we're going to have to build the clan rat building. We could honestly demolish the breeding pit here and build it there. Not the clan rat building, the catapult building. The problem with building it over in this settlement Yeah, that's not right. Let's look at the building browser again. The catapult needs to be built in the capital. The weapon burrow was the one that I was thinking of. And this could be built in the secondary settlement. It will give death globadiers, but we can't use death globadiers until we get all the way to the top of this. So that's pretty moot. What about the middle one? I can't get the mouse. Yeah. So it would give us poison wind globadiers. Actually, poison wind globadiers are armored and armor-piercing missiles. And anti-large. So these actually wouldn't be a bad one to try to recruit. That's 4,000. If we demolish this, we'll get 1,200 back in our treasury. Something to consider. This is definitely one of the better buildings that we can build over here. We should be looking over here, though. So this is one of the better buildings we can build over here. This garrison is another one we should strongly consider getting built over here. I don't think that's worth upgrading anytime soon. Growth vats would also be okay for rat ogres. There's not a scenario where I think, at least in this point in the game, we bother going past rat ogres to this anytime soon. So if we just wanted some rat ogres to kind of substitute as a cavalry style unit, rat ogres are pretty good for flanking. Plague monks are pretty decent as well. Not so great against armored units or against well, they're good anti-infantry units for sure. But I'm kind of interested in this because this is the earliest anti-armored unit that I've been able to discover. I thought at first it was going to be storm vermin. That is not the case. Storm vermin require this building and this building. We can build this over here, no problem. We're going to lose some stuff to do this. We're going to lose the ability to level up fast. But I think we only have one more tier to go before we're maxed out on our settlement size. So I think it's okay to go ahead and consider doing this. I don't want to do it until we can actually start the construction of the Poison Wind Globadier weapon burrow. So let's see how much money we have. So yeah, 1,200 refunded would be enough to start the construction of that building. Alright, it's going to take one turn for that to go down. We can start that next turn. We'll still have 1,000 or so to work with. And we could also just go ahead and declare war on these guys. Is anybody already at war with them?
Aye.
Oh, this is good.
Asaph smiles on us. You come to speak to the
Okay.
voice of the vengeful.
Join war against them. Military access.
My will.
They like that. Add offer or demand trade agreement.
No!
Okay. Asking a little much, I know. Chill out. We got down here? Lizardmen? Okay. Alright, so that completes this. Got a lot going on, but things are starting to progress. I'm feeling better about where we're at. Poison Wind Globadiers. We don't want to fill this army completely out with clan rats because I do want to get some Poison Wind Globadiers into it. We're at 12. If I go 12 clan rats, let's go like 15 and 5 maybe.
Guide us, Horned One.
This put us at 12, yeah. Alright, new technologies. We got options now. +2 loyalty, +1 public order, or campaign movement. Yes, campaign movement is awesome. Nope, skipping that one.
Most masterful of masters.
I don't know. I think we're gonna go raid over here for a little bit. Why not?
Scurry forward.
See if we can get them to come out and deal with us. Whoa! Our raiding went down to 1? There must be nothing in this province. I must have 0 income. I got a wizard, a razor gore herd, and a Cygor. They have a Cygor? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know if I want to deal with that. We might be moving back. Alright. I keep thinking that that's something I need to click on, and it's not. We're not doing that, because I need all the money for next turn. Alright, let's see if we can get our plans to work the way that I want them to. As I spill my tea all over myself. Okay, well, this is unexpected. Potentially welcome, but unexpected, nonetheless. I can't get out of this screen to actually see. So we could retreat out of their territory, I guess. I don't know that we want to do that. But I'm pretty sure we don't want to fight this fight with his army of reinforcements behind him. So let's go ahead and retreat and see what they do. I definitely wasn't ready for that. And maybe that's the reason why they haven't come out, because we weren't at war with them. I'm a little surprised the silver hosts are still around. Just a little, though. A non-aggression pact. Counter offer. We need some payments. $600? Alright. Alright. breeding pit completed. Non-aggression pact negotiated. War declared between those guys. Queek Headtaker withdrew from a fight.
No, no.
So, how do we want to go about dealing with this little problem? I guess the question is it better for us to fall back to Lost Plateau, or to kind of stay over here where we can keep an eye on them? And I think the answer is we kind of just stay over here on the edge of their territory.
Scotty, now, Scotty.
And set up an encampment. And just kind of keep an eye on them. Since we're not going to be recruiting any more units. I got a lot of clan rats to throw at them. Alright, this army...
Which clan?
We wanted to build Poison Wind Globadiers. 4 turns until that's completed.
Stink of command.
So let's go ahead and I need to get here.
What's your back tail?
Food generation, growth, and construction reduction. Public order. Public order is fine. Food generation is actually fine at the moment too. Yeah, let's go with this. See if that affects this. Probably won't, because we've already built it at this point. So I can undo this. Build it next turn. It would save me 400 gold. Probably not worth it. I'd rather have the turn. And 3 or 4 of these guys. Do we want any ranged units at all? Ranged units that don't have armor piercing against armored units are pretty worthless. Because once they run out of ammo, they can't fight at all. And their ammo does very little damage, if any damage at all. I think we're just better off getting more of these.
Guide us, Horned One.
Then I can recruit. Let's go with 2. That puts me at 14. And then I'll be only recruiting 3 at a time once we get the Globadiers. So in 2 turns, once the Globadiers are done, I can have the 6 I need to finish this army off. That's fine. That'll give me 6 Poison Wind Globadiers, which is definitely what we want. Yep. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Not really.
Our clan will rise.
Yeah, you're gonna rise back over here where we're actually
Run,
making
fools.
money. I guess I could run into their territory and see what it's like. Okay. Warp Shard Armor. Occupy, loot, raise, or sack 1 different settlement. Okay, well, we're working on it.
Nova's weak.
This army's gonna have to go into encampment mode to heal. I don't really want to do that right now, though. Yeah, we're not building anything there. So. Warp shard armor would be pretty sweet. I'm just a little concerned with spreading myself too thin. Not sure what faction that is. Is that the Silver Hosts? Maybe it is. Let's change this stance to March. I thought I clicked that already. Faction destroyed. Red Fangs have been obliterated. There's nothing left. What is to the north of us then? Probably one of the other orc factions. That would be my guess. One of the other orc factions took them out. We have detected a force belonging to the Abominations, attempting to lay ambush. Okay. Rat Surge is loyal again, that's good. +1 public order in the local province, fine. Defeat the following Lord's army in battle. 12 turns to complete. We are moving close to that, so everything's pushing us this way. We got the Warlock to knock down the walls. We got Poison Wind Globadiers on the way. We got 12 turns to get that done, so we're going to be cutting it close. But I think that it might actually happen. Maybe. We are kind of pushing it here with the number of turns that we're waiting to get these Poison Wind Globadiers. If I had been smart, we would have went that direction earlier, and we might have already had our army down here a little sooner. We're one turn away from being able to do this. Yeah, we really need the Poison Wind Globadiers, I think, at a minimum. I've got to have some ranged units that can help support, and an armor-piercing ranged unit is definitely the way to go. I would take him out, but he had a Cygor. That is a Dwarven faction. Isn't it? Karak Azul. Okay, we need to do some scouting here.
This way.
Karaka Azul has completely taken out the orcs to the north. This actually might work in our favor in that all of this time we've spent trying to focus on getting armor piercing is going to pay off big time if we have to fight through dwarves all the way through the north, which it looks like we are. They've locked up 4 territories. So I feel a little bit better about some of my decision making. That's not usually the way that that goes. Many times I have the orcs dominate that territory. Yeah, we're just never going to do this, so stop asking me about it. It's just not a good use of our money. unfortunately, that means that the army that we do have up here in the north is pretty worthless. Other than a distraction or for raiding like we're doing now. Alright. I think we're about an hour in at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the video for today. However, I am going to be back later today to record a second part, I believe. So we didn't get a lot done in terms of exciting battles, but we did get a lot done in terms of preparation, and I have some other things I need to get done this morning. So we're going to wrap this one up today. Right here at turn 28, we made some good headway in getting our army prepared, and we are on the precipice of heading to the south, wiping out the dwarves in that territory, and then turning our very dwarf-efficient army to the north. So join us later today for part 2 of this Total War Tuesday. Until then, have a great day.